Hello, I'm Codestra and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be building a password generator in JavaScript. We are going to be using the object-oriented programming way. This project is an upgrade to our password generator project, which has been built earlier before. If you have not seen this, I will be putting the link to the video in the description so that you can go and watch it. And here are the things we've written, which enable us to generate passwords. If you have not seen the video, kindly pause this video and watch that so that you can understand what we are going to be doing in this video. So what I have here is just my HTML file that contains the form, my styling, just a simple style, and my app.js, which contains the logic to generate the password. And this is what it looks like on the web. So once I click on generate password, it will generate different passwords for me. Alright, so now we want to do it in a object-oriented way. Now this thing looks too much and it will be difficult to maintain at the long run. So now I'll be creating a new file. I will call it password generator. So now this file will be writing our logics. The first thing I'll be doing is to create a class. I'll be calling it generate password. So this class, we have a constructor function, and this function we have some default values like the number of alphabets, the number of numbers, and finally the number of symbols. Okay, so now I'll be using the this keyword. This dot number of alphabets will be equal to the number of alphabets, or I will be giving it a default value. If this is not available, so let it be 10, and I'll be doing the same for the rest. This dot number of numbers should be equal to number of numbers, or 5, and this dot number of symbols should be equal to the number of symbols, or the default value should be 5. So this is the first thing we do. If we look at what we did here, remember we declared the number of alphabet symbols and all of that, right? Yes, that's what we are doing now. So we want to create this default alphabet numbers and symbol. So I'll just copy this and I'll put it in our constructor function. Alright, let me just put it here. So remember, there won't be anything like let anymore. We're in a class base, we are doing something class based. So it will be this dot any of this thing, because we have to be pointing to the class, right? All right, so after we've done this, so the next thing I'll create is the password, which will be an empty array. First of all, just like what we have here, an empty array. So after this is done, yes, I'm done with the constructor function. So I will now, first of all, the thing I will now create is I will be creating 3 methods. The first method I'll be creating is, I'll call it add alphabet. So this add alphabet function will take this logic that we use to add in alphabet here. So I'll basically copy this and paste it here. So what this will do is, while the number of alphabet is greater than 0, so we'll not be using the number of alphabet. Remember, say this dot number of alphabets is greater than 0, then this dot alphabet amount of flow dot, then this dot alphabet dot length, and the password, this dot password, then we'll push it. Alright, then the last final one, which is this dot this. Okay, now basically what we are trying to do is, remember this is trying to refer to the object itself. You know, a class is an instance of an object, so whenever we create an object, this will be binded to that particular object. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain here. So the next thing is I'll be creating the second one, add numbers, add number. So this add number, I will just be doing it the easy way. So the easy way is by copying this and doing the same. So the only thing I will be changing is the number of alphabet. Now will not be number of alphabet, it will be number of numbers. So after that, then I can change this letter to, let me say, number. Okay, I think this is fine. Number of numbers, which will be declared here, number of numbers, right? So I will do the same thing for the add symbol. So now I'll be doing the same thing for the add symbol. So this will now be number of symbols. Then this will just be symbol. All right, I hope I'm not making mistakes in any of it. Okay, so this is fine, right? Now the next thing is I'll be calling this tree method inside the constructor function. Yes, that's what I'll be doing. I'll say add alphabet, which is this dot add alphabet, then add number, which will give me this dot add number, and add symbol. I'll be calling them in the constructor function. And the reason why I'm doing this is that whenever I create an object, all these functions should be called and all this code should be run immediately. Okay, so the next thing I will do is create another function, and this function is just what we call generate. It will be generate, and this, what this will do, it will shuffle the value of this password like this. Say this dot password dot sort. Remember, it's an array, so I'll be sorting it by like this, 0.5 minus math.random. I'll be sorting it randomly. If you don't really understand what I'm doing here, you can go back to the previous video where I explain it in details. Everything has been done here. If you look at the way I sorted the password here. So later on, I'll be returning the password.join with this. So next thing I'll do is to return this dot password dot join like this. Yes, so basically I am done with everything. Now for me to use this, I will, let me just create, I want to use it in a separate JavaScript file. So I will call the JavaScript file generate.js. So let me just save like that, and I will be using the module. So I will be exporting this. So this is what I will do here. I will say export default, then generate password. Yes, then so that I can come into this class and say import generate password from my password generator, right? So you can, let me just put the .js. Okay, so after this is done, then what I will just do is I'll create a function called let. I'll create a variable called password rather, and this password I will I'll create an object called new generate password. So I can decide to put the number of alphabet I want, the number of number of symbol, but I'll leave the default. So what I will now do is password dot generate. So whenever I log this into the console, I think this should give me once I log this into the console. Okay, now let's try it. So I'll go to my HTML file and link my generate into it. Okay, this is my console, which is refreshing. This is my browser rather. Then I'll open the console using F12. It's opening, but it's kind of slow. Okay, let's see. It said cannot use generate.js outside of emoji. Yes, I noticed. I forgot to declare the type here and say it's a module. That's where the issue is coming from. So I think once this reloads, there won't be any issue anymore. Okay, yes. Look at my password has been generated. Whenever I refresh, to give me another password. Now let's now learn how do we populate it inside the password field here. So I'll go back to my code. The first thing is I'll get hold of the button and I'll get hold of the input type, which is the password. So to make it easy for me, I'll go back to our previous code and copy them. So I'll put it here in this generate password. I'll just paste it here. So then I'll just say btn dot add event listener. So whenever I click on the button, so this is what I want to do for me. Alright, so it will do this for me. I'll be creating the password object inside the function that contains, so that whenever I click the button, it will do everything afresh. So whenever I click the button, it will regenerate new password always. Instead of me logging into the console now, what I will do is I will say my pwd, which is my password, dot value should be equal to this. So once this is done, this will generate the password for me. Whenever I click, you can see it's generating new password every time. But the reason why we can't see this is because it's a password field. So I can change it from password.type. I can change it to text so that we can be seeing the password that is being generated. And once I click generate, not now, I'm not saving it. You can see this works so fine, and this helps us in creating a clean and a clean code. Like now, we already have a separate file that handles the generating password for us. All we have to do is just call the class and create a new object and do the password generate easily. So whenever you just need to make changes, we just come here to make our changes. We don't need to bother about making changes here. And this is how to write clean code, and this is what object-oriented programming is all about. I hope you enjoyed this. So I'll be removing this because nobody wants password to be visible, right? So one more thing I would like to say: if you are just viewing this HTML by just copying the path here using the file protocol like this, it might not work for you. That's the hardest truth. If I click on, alright, you can notice it says access to script at so there will be an error. It will not work because you have to access it using an HTTP or an HTTPS protocol. So this is how to do it. You either, if you have the extension called live server on your VS Code, you can click on it and open with live server, and you open like this so that you can be able to have because in JavaScript you cannot use module with just a file protocol. You have to use module with an HTTP protocol. I hope you really understand this. If you really love my videos, please kindly like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.